5 covers the x-intercepts of a quadratic relation. So it's important for us to get our quadratic relations into factored form. And this right here is factored form. And the s is going to be one of our factors and the r is going to be the other factor. And from this form, we're going to be able to solve for the x-intercepts. Okay, so let's go in order and let's start example 1. So first, number 1, we're going to factor this equation. Okay, so we have y equals 4x squared plus 4x minus 168. So all of these numbers divide by 4. So our common factor is 4, and we're left with x squared plus x, because again, these 4's cancel out there. And then negative 168 divided by 4 is negative 42. Okay, and we know from 5.4 that we can go ahead and trinomial factor this trinomial. Okay, and it's going to be, so when we have negative 42, when we find the factors, we get 1 and 42, 2 and 21, and we keep going, and we also get 6 and 7. Okay, so 7 minus 6 is going to equal positive 1. And then negative 7, or 7 times negative 6 is also going to equal negative 42. So those are our two factors. Okay, so for number 2, what we're going to do is we're going to use these two factors to find the zeros. How we do that is you take each factor, which is x minus 6 in this case, and x plus 7, and we're going to equate them to 0. Okay? Bring that negative 6 over. Our two zeros are x equals 6, and bring that 7 over, x equals negative 7. So we have negative 7, and then we have 6 on this side. Those are our zeros. Now let's go ahead and find the y-intercept. So to find the y-intercept, we need to plug in x equals 0. So we're going to have 4 0 squared plus 4 0 minus 168. Okay, that goes to 0, that goes to 0. We have negative 168 as our answer. Okay, so let's plot negative 168 on our graph, and we're going to connect those. So number 4 is just sketch the parabola. So we're going to sketch both zeros and the y-intercept. And here is just a little note for number 5. Our parabola opens up. Okay, happy face opens up. Now let's refer to the a value. Our a value is the 4. Okay, so when our a value is positive a, our parabola should open up. So this parabola works. Okay, so let's try example 2. So first we're going to factor. Number 1, factor. So in example 2, we have x squared minus 8x. Well, we can see that there's an x in each one of these terms. So we're going to cancel out the x. Okay, the squared and the x will cancel out, and the x and the x will cancel out, leaving us with x minus 8. Okay, number 2, we're going to find the factors. So we're going to take both of these factors. Sorry, we're going to use the factors to find zeros. We're going to take both of these factors and set them equal to 0. So x equals 0 is already done, and we just bring over that negative 8. X equals 8 is going to be our other factor. So we have one factor at 0, one factor at 8. Okay, now we're going to find the y-intercept. So you should be able to recognize right here that the y-intercept is already 0. But if you're not able to see that, then go ahead and sub in x equals 0. 0 squared minus 8 times 0 is just 0. Okay, so you can do that algebraically if you want. All right, number 4. We're going to sketch this. All right, well, we plotted the zeros and we plotted the y-intercept. So this one's a little bit tricky because we don't know if it opens up or if it opens down. So let's take a look at the a value. Our a value is positive 1. So it's going to open up. So our parabola is going to look something like this because we know that it opens up. able to go ahead and try this one on your own, and then I will right now take up the answer. Okay, so let's first factor the equation. So the leading coefficient is just 1, so we're able to just use product sum. So 20. What are the factors of 20? 1, 20, 2, 10, 4, 5. But which ones add to 12? 2 and 10. So x plus 2, x plus 10. Oops, plus 10. Okay, and now let's use those. Let's set both of those equal to 0, and we will get our factors. X plus 10 equals 0. Bring over that 2, bring over that 10. X equals negative 2, and we have x equals negative 10. So when we actually sketch this, we're going to have negative 2, and we're going to have negative 10. Okay, we're going to find the y-intercept. So that's, again, when x equals 0. Y equals 0 squared plus 12, 0, plus 20. So those two go to 0, y equals 20. So if we come back over to our graph, y equals 20, that means naturally that our parabola has to open up so that it goes through that 20 right there. Okay? And we can double check that by looking at that 1, which is our a value, and we know that it's positive. So there's our graph.